not roaring in pain and anger at the systematic and industrialised rape of our children? Why is there silence? Why is there silence from so many of those in power and those who knew for so long? Why are our children made to feel shame and dirty when adults abuse and rape them? Because other adults choose to look the other way or even blame them. The rape of children is a topic many want to close their ears to, deeming it a taboo subject. It's not something people will discuss round the dinner table or at the pub on a Friday night. Why? How did we become a society who happily ignores the horror and evil that far too many adults inflict on children? We read about the latest rape gang that has been uncovered and we are shocked all over again, only for it to be forgotten about the next day. If only the same could be said for the girls who have been raped by up to at least 50 men in one night. Can you imagine what that must feel like? You can't, because if you did, you too would be roaring in pain. These girls told the police, who should be protecting them, the police, social workers and other safeguarding agencies, and not enough people cared to make it stop. They said the underage girls consented to being raped by untold numbers of men. They were often told it was their fault. Think about that for a moment. A child is told that it is their fault for being gang raped and abused again and again. If the white girls were not believed when they told of their multiple rapes by mostly Pakistani men, then what chance would the Pakistani girls have in being protected? They have less chance than the white girls. Pakistani children rarely tell their parents they have been raped. The girls that do pluck up the courage are accused of smiling too much at the perverted old uncle. Far too many Pakistani children are sexually abused and raped by imams at the mosque, where they are sent to read the Quran and learn their prayers. Instead, they learn that the imam is a sick and twisted excuse of a human being. They tell no one, and if they do, it will rarely be reported to the police. No stats are kept here in the UK for Pakistani children abused and raped by those in their own communities. Many Pakistani girls are anally raped. This is so they can still be virgins on their wedding night. Where is the outrage from the community? They know this goes on. Of course they do. Children in their communities are not born with a special shield to protect them from paedophiles. Instead, they focus on Islamophobia. Tell Mama will fabricate hijab-pulling stories to gain sympathy while ignoring the rape of girls in hijabs by men with beards. Sadiq Khan will tweet about climate change and gender imbalance, yet never uses his platform to discuss the rape of children in his community. Naz Shah was forced into a marriage, yet she too is silent. She ignores the Pakistani girls, yet we expect her to protect girls from Rochdale, girls who she would prefer keep their mouths shut for the sake of diversity. Saida Warsi is another who is also outraged by Islamophobia and silent on the rape of children in the Pakistani community. If only she would use that voice in raising awareness and demanding protection for children. So what chance do Pakistani girls have here in Rochdale or anywhere in the UK when the high-profile Muslim voices are ignoring them? The people that could help them and start change? Why do they only get angry at the people that tell the public what is going on? What chance do any of the children have when the safeguarding agencies are failing them? And it is down to groups like those who have organised today's events to do something. The loudest condemnations from the politicians, the councils, the organisations such as Tell Mama will be against us. Everyone here today for being in pain and for being angry. It won't be against the paedophiles or the community that enables it. Great Britain needs to find its way again to do the right thing. Yeah. Protecting children from paedophiles is more important than any excuse put forward not to. I find it beyond belief that I, a member from that community, has to still keep saying this.
Thank you.
Well done, Shazza.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Guys. Special thanks to Shaz because she's come all the way down from Glasgow to speak today. So next up is a good friend and colleague of mine from Survivors First, Mike. So Mike's going to speak about online grooming and other stuff.
Hi guys. It's a nice day for it, isn't it? It's not a bad day. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Mike. I'm a survivor. Proud to say it. Shouldn't be proud to say it, but ultimately that's the road it's led me to. You're either ruined by it or made by it. Unfortunately, it's kind of made me in the direction that I want to do things and in the way I want to make change, which is why I'm one of the founding members with Dan of Survivors First. Abused quite young, before my teens, and I had a horrible time, seen as the difficult kid, seen as the kid that just causes problems, put in a unit at school, segregated off from my friends because I was naughty. No one ever asked the question, no one ever said to me, like, why are you naughty, Mike? What is your problem? What's made you like this? No one ever wanted to know, or even begin to fathom the reasons behind my behavioural change. And I went for a child psychologist, still questions weren't asked. So from very, very early on in my life, there was massive failings by the system. And when I decided at the age of 27 to go forward and confront my demons and kind of disclose certain things that had gone on, because I was too scared to disclose all of it because of a masculinity thing. You know, you think as a fully grown man, you don't want to say these kind of things that happen to you because it's for you in front of a group of people. It's personal. It's not embarrassing, but it's cringy talking about it. Didn't want to know. They were more bothered about safeguarding his kids than safeguarding the child in me that died when I was abused. Do I hold any grudges? No, because I'm a survivor. And that's what Survivors First is all about. I've gone on, I started out 10 months ago actually. I started, some of you will know it, a paedophile hunting team called Dark Light on Facebook. Yesterday we did our 67th arrest with the police. So that's 67 paedophiles that we've dealt with and we've come into contact with and highlighted to the authorities. Some of that includes Home Office personnel, some of that includes solicitors. You know, while I've been within that community, I've seen paediatricians, you know, people in positions of trust that actively want to harm children. And this isn't spoke about enough. People don't, you know, the powers that be won't allow for this to be known, but this isn't just on a small scale. This isn't just a man in a dodgy trench coat stood under a light on a dark night. Like, paedophiles are everywhere. And the only way that we're truly going to be able to put a dent in the problem is by raising awareness of that. Prevention is awareness. Not enough people talk about it. Like Shaz said before, you know, there's not enough people sat around dinner tables speaking about this stuff. Not in a graphic way with your children, but your children need to be aware of stranger danger. Your children need to be aware that these people are out there. Because these people don't care. They will actively go out and try and hurt children. I've stung paedophiles who have historically been jailed for raping, you know, toddlers as young as 3. Younger, in fact. And the sentencing guidelines around that still isn't good enough. There's nothing that we can do anymore, I think, as a hunting community that's going to highlight the problem any further. Because the media won't allow us to come out with... I'm deemed a vigilante. People look at me as a vigilante. I'm not a vigilante. I'm just a parent who cares. I look at my own kids and I look at, you know, the kids all around here and I'm thinking, these kids deserve a voice. These kids deserve to be heard. And prevention measures need to be put in place to stop these kids from being at risk. So that's really what we're trying to do. On the back of the paedophile hunting side of things, I very quickly formed a relationship with Dan. And it's been a mad time, isn't it? It's been a mad time. You know, we've done some crazy things, and what we're achieving now with Survivors First is huge. we're getting the message out there, the crowds are getting bigger, people, you know, more media outlets are becoming interested. People want to hear our stories now, whereas in the past they didn't want to hear our stories, they didn't care. We were just troubled kids, but now troubled kids grow into adults. And now we've got voices, and we can be heard, and we will be heard. So really, guys, that's, you know, that's kind of what we're doing. A last message for you to every single person that stood here, because I know there's quite a few people here. Please, if you don't know who your children are speaking to online, check. Honestly, check, because there's so many, you know, because of the boom of social media, people can be whoever they want to be and hide on Facebook and pretend to be a 15-year-old boy when they're a 60-year-old man. If you don't know who your children are speaking to, then I'm not saying that you're doing something wrong, because we've never seen this before. This is a new thing, it's something new that's happening. But make yourself aware of the new social media surroundings. Make yourself, you know, familiarise yourself with what's going on. Have a look at what's going on. Have a look at your children's devices and be transparent with them. Have a conversation with your kids about stranger danger. Have a conversation with your kids about the dangers of online grooming. You know, we're very soon to be looking to go into schools and things like that. You know, we're putting a programme together, and we're going to be going out into schools and youth clubs and even, you know, it sounds mad, but colleges, because 16 is still the kids. The kids, and they're not aware of the dangers that are out there. So please, guys, if you can, just check your kids' devices. Be transparent, have a good relationship with your kids in terms of transparency and online awareness. And yeah, that's that. So, thank you.
Well said, mate. Nice one.
Sorry, next up we've got Billy from Parents Against Grooming. Billy?
The pill fill, guys.
Billy's
like
just making his way up the steps now to speak.